No. Hold on. This is actually important because, like, while I don't do a lot of gun content on the channel, like, YouTube might become psycho. YouTube might become psycho and actually come for the airsoft content. We're gonna have to watch this.
Mass surveillance, control, and censorship. It's now at our doorstep here. A place many have called home. YouTube.
Bro, he's been going so hard recently with like the anti-corpo shit. I saw a meme comparing him to Keanu Reeves, like from Cyberpunk, and then the Cyberpunk like adrenaline theme slowly kicking in while it's flashing between the two of them with everything that's been going on. It was kind of hilarious.
They've just announced they're rolling out AI in the US to detect if users are actually under 18, ignoring...
Before we continue, this might not be as bad as I thought it was. I thought that it was for like banning gun related content or like heavier topic content, but it might age restrict it. I don't know, because they've already been hard on airsoft as it is, like with US Airsoft's video about airsoft in general as a genre. So we'll see. Well, I paused it too soon.
Whatever the account's stated age is, and will apply restrictions to users it suspects are teens. And if it suspects that you are not over 18, it will restrict what you have access to, and the only way to overturn that is by providing identification. That sounds...
It's the ID thing. We're cooked. We're so cooked. Dude. It just sucks because, like, it's coming to the US, yeah, but over in the UK and, like, UK, Europe, Australia doesn't even have airsoft. Airsoft is completely banned over there. Same with China, which is funny because most airsoft products come from China, and that's just wild to me. But age restricting airsoft products or airsoft videos to the UK and Europe makes a little more sense because it's strictly 18 plus of a sport over there. Like, you don't get kids at airsoft fields like you do in the United States. They're not considered toys over there, which they're replicas. They're basically toys, but they're not recognized as toys overseas. So it's strictly an adult sport. And there's a lot of kids in the United States that are into the hobby, and they watch people like C7 Viper, Swamp Sniper, US Airsoft, kind of, he's a little more mature, WAG Entertainment, which those channels, their lifeblood is strictly airsoft content. Like, I do it for fun because it's fun for the channel, but I also like doing other stuff like gaming and react stuff like we're doing now. My voice is cracking like crazy. But to restrict everything to those channels, and I said this about gun content on YouTube, like Garantham and Demolition Ranch and all those people with their gun content, they took a huge hit with the YouTube stuff, you know, cracking down on gun related content. A lot of people lost sponsors because of gun content on YouTube and them not allowing it on the platform where they built whole careers. Luckily, people like Brandon Herrera created a whole gunsmithing company to make AKs off of, you know, the money he made previously. But if you didn't set yourself up and you were solely relying on YouTube income for your gun content, those restrictions and losing those sponsorships and ad revenue was crazy for a lot of creators. If it hits airsoft next with this whole 18 plus age restriction, like if they start restricting airsoft videos to 18 plus, a lot of those kid friendly airsoft channels are gonna lose out huge, because at the end of the day they're just marketing toys and dumb stuff, you know. Over in the UK, Europe, again, they're not really toys over there. Over in the US, a lot of people say it's childish, and they are toys. It's up in the air. I don't care. You know, when I go to the airsoft field, we have kids that are like 10 years old and people that are 50 years old with gray hair playing airsoft. Everybody does it. But a lot of the airsoft YouTubers are kid friendly and kid content, which is why I make airsoft content that's different, because I was like, there's not enough adult airsoft content, so I'm going to be more adult with my airsoft content. which is the lifeblood of this channel currently, and why we've gotten so big for it. We're only 43 seconds into the video, but I'm just at a loss for words. Like, C7 Viper and WAG Entertainment especially are gonna take a huge hit if their content isn't shown to people below 18, because they literally are just like today we're unboxing this airsoft gun. I don't say no bad words, and look at how it shoots. It's good out of the box, and that is their whole lifeblood.
It's awfully familiar. Does that ring any bells to anyone out there? You know, with what's going on over in the UK at the moment? I would certainly hope so. If it doesn't, go give your doctor a huge pat on the ass and tell him that the lobotomy was very successful, because you have lost all fucking brain function. It's now U.S. citizens
I could
turn to
never be
from
this
their
witty
balls here, and all privacy completely thrown in the shitter. So, if YouTube's AI tools think that you're under 18, I hope you're ready to fork over your ID in order to continue to access certain YouTube content and features. When YouTube determines a user is teen or preteen, the site will disable personalized advertising, activate digital well-being features, and put stricter content filters as well as behavioral restrictions into place. Basically, YouTube will pop its titty into your mouth and breastfeed you here because your parents aren't fucking raising you. What a joyful, pleasant future these greasy, greedy, ghoulish...
It's so true. It's 100% and always will be on the parents. Like, I have a huge age gap between me and my sister, and my sister's really young. My parents limit her screen time completely. Like, it's even worse to me. When I was a kid growing up, I thought I was, like, had it bad. I didn't have a smartphone until I actually moved out and bought my own. But I had a bedtime up until I graduated high school. Like, I had to go to bed at 9 p.m. every night. And, like, I would sneak my iPod Touch, you know, under the pillow, Game Boy Advance, Nintendo DS under the pillow, stay up late. Part of my insomnia problem started young. But there were times where I would get in trouble or get caught, and then I would have to leave my devices outside the door at bedtime, which, in hindsight, like, at the moment, as a kid, I was like, oh, man, that's fucking annoying. But in hindsight, I'm kind of glad my parents did that. But with my sister, she can't even play on her iPad for X amount of hours. And, like, when I was growing up, I didn't have an iPad because I wasn't a goddamn iPad child, but I had Xbox 360 and Xbox Live, and I would play hours on end, nonstop, drinking Mountain Dews. And I thought I was restricted, but goes back to the parenting, like, oh my god, a few Karens getting upset, leading to all this.
LARPing is your parental figures deciding what you can and cannot access based on their estimation of your age. Because no longer are parents expected to be parents anymore. The internet is now that. My papa is a fucking YouTube algorithm. It tells me what I can watch, what I'm allowed to consume. It's so fucking infuriating. The only thing here that makes any level of sense is, like, disabling personalized ads for kids, which is something I'm pretty sure the YouTube Kids app already does.
Which is what they just straight up need to do. Again, there's a whole ass YouTube Kids app. Why are we doing this? Why do we need to do this? I guess not enough parents know that there's a difference between YouTube Kids, or that even a YouTube Kids app exists. So they don't just default to making sure their children only have YouTube Kids app. If anything, it shouldn't be the companies that are taking control of what you can and can't watch on the internet. Instead, it should be where was I going with this? Instead, it should be like parental locks. Like when we had cable TV, you could put parental locks on certain channels. When you get a smartphone for your child, which I'm sure there probably actually already is this kind of a feature, where you can put a parental lock on your iPhone, because they had it on Xbox, like with certain games and shit, so you can get M-rated games without, you know, the parent lock being put in. They should do that on your child's phones. Go to your tablet, smartphone, whatever, see what their options are, so that way if you really are worried about the children, they won't have to go through this bullshit. And if there is a feature, it needs to be advertised and expressed more, that's out there for people to watch, or for people to see and utilize, instead of just having the companies do it on their behalf.
which again, I don't even know why that app exists anymore with this effect, with this change going into effect.
Exactly.
It's now just a redundancy if they're going to polymorph the main YouTube platform into basically catering to kids on it as well. It's fucking lunacy. It is not YouTube's responsibility to put the bumpers up in the bowling lane. The onus should be on the parents to ensure that their kids are not consuming harmful content on YouTube. It is crazy that YouTube is doing this. So they're using AI, which will assess a user's age via multiple behavioral factors, including what kind of videos the user searches for, the categories of videos they watch, and how long the account has been active per its blog post, which is very vague and also going to lead to so many accounts getting flagged as being under 18 that definitely are not. There are so many people in the Pokemon community, for example.
Oh, I didn't even think about Pokemon, dude. I didn't even think about Pokemon. And just other, like you see the Nintendo shelf in the background. I have the dark lights on because we were playing spooky games, but like me moving out of the way kind of brightens it up, you know. And of course, right next to the Nintendo shelf is the fucking gun rack with the ammo and like all of the airsoft stuff as well. And Pokemon too, dude. This is getting my brain immediately zeroed in on my hobby.
Pokemon content online is like late 20s and early 30s at this point. That is like entirely an adult market, but it is a child's IP. Like it is an IP that is catering towards kids. So pretty much
he kind of held the
searches for like Pokemon
the
cards,
text
Pokemon
on there long.
Really anything even adjacent to that, or like Nintendo games, like any gamers that play Nintendo games, all of those will be like a strike against them that could end with their account being deemed like under 18 or something. It's going to be absolute chaos, I imagine. This technology will allow us to infer a user's age and then use that signal regardless of the birthday in the account to deliver our age-appropriate product experiences and protections.
Plus, just an example just now, the amount of times that I've vaped on a live stream, which I don't vape in regular videos because they're not necessarily scripted out, but they have a goal set in mind, so I don't vape like mid talking about or reviewing an airsoft product. But when I'm live streaming, I'll hit my vape occasionally, and it might be restricted to 18 plus because of it.
If the AI estimation is incorrect, YouTube says it will allow a user to verify their age with a credit card, a government ID, or a selfie. Wow, what saints? You get the privilege.
That's the credit card thing is dumb because even the ID is dumb because a kid could just grab an ID or credit card out of the wallet, and if the parents aren't even parenting their kids, why does it matter? Because if they're like, mommy, I can't watch my favorite Swamp Sniper video that just came out because it needs an ID. If they're already not caring what their child watches on YouTube, they can just get their parents' ID or credit card information and put in onto YouTube to watch the content they want to watch. It's literally going to do nothing but surveillance.
Or your biometric data to YouTube in order to prove that you are actually over 18. Surely that's going to be like really secure, and it's not going to be used for any kind of like tracking or anything like that. Don't be ridiculous, fucking tinfoil condom conspiracy theorist. There's no.
For real, the ghost emoji on the chat. I totally feel it, dude. If this goes into effect, airsoft content is cooked as a whole. Like, yeah, it'll be 18 plus, and that might be better for the community as like the people calling it childish or whatever. But there's, again, a lot of airsoft channels that are kid-focused that are going to lose their careers because of it.
Nothing wrong with forking over all of your identification and your credit card information to corporations or the government directly, so that way they can actively monitor you and censor you and basically control what you have access to. What's the big deal? It's so absurd, man. I cannot believe how quickly this is getting out of control. Like I told you, it was not exclusive to just the UK. It is already touched down here, and it hasn't even been a week. It hasn't even been a week. That snowball has already become a full fucking shitstorm avalanche. It is terrible. It's scary. It's very scary. This article also mentions something else. The rollout of the new feature comes one day after Australia's government announced it would ban children under 16 from using YouTube, and less than a week after UK implemented the sweeping age checks on content on social media.
They already banned Airsoft in Australia.
Networks. YouTube was promised an exemption from Australia's social media ban last year by the then communications minister, but the Australian government said on Monday that the platform would in fact be included in the country's ban on children under 16 using social networks. The ban is slated to take effect in December. Google, YouTube's parent company, strenuously advocated against the Australian ban and has threatened to sue to overturn it. That subject they mentioned there about the Australian government
Huge Google W, by the way. The rare Google W.
banning kids from making social media accounts is a topic that I briefly touched on like a year ago. But in a nutshell, this is something I've said a lot. The entire landscape of social media has changed so much over the last decade, drastically, where I do think it is downright dangerous and detrimental for kids to just have unlimited access to things like Twitter, for example. So I just think that it's not exactly a good thing to just have kids making social media accounts and just fucking rotting away on them. I do think that that is harmful, but there is no way of actually stopping that in a way that doesn't step on everyone's freedoms. And at the time, it just didn't even really dawn on me because the way it was being spoken about was just like, oh, don't worry, the methods we're coming up with are, we're making sure privacy is still top of mind. We don't want to encroach on that. We're just trying to think of ways to, help kids not get sucked into social media degeneracy and all of that. And when you hear that, you're like, oh, okay, I guess that makes sense. But when you really stop to think about it and you stop and really fucking smell it, it's very clear that there's no way of doing that without just stripping freedoms from everybody else. How the fuck are you possibly going to stop that from happening? And it also shouldn't be the government's responsibility nor the platform's responsibility to ensure that kids aren't making those accounts. It is the parents. No matter how you spin it.
And again, even if they do take down that responsibility, what's going to stop Timmy from grabbing his mom's credit card or ID while she's asleep to put it in his YouTube account to continue watching that content?
It should always come back to the parents. And what YouTube did initially, and what I thought was the right direction, was having a separate platform specifically for that age group, YouTube Kids. So that way, that group, those kids, would not be going to main YouTube. They would be on that platform, which is safe for them. And the parents' responsibility would be ensuring that they are on YouTube Kids, not main YouTube. But now what's happening is every company is now putting in these age verification checks which require ID or biometric data, which, as we're seeing unfold in real time rapidly, leads to just basically control and mass surveillance. That's the entire underlying motive behind all of it. It's not about protecting kids. It's not about
Johnny Silverhand over here coming in.
Social media, content or anything like that. It is all about getting more of your information so they can monitor you more effectively. It's not a conspiracy. It is just right in your face censorship, control, and mass surveillance. And YouTube now taking this step is extremely concerning. And obviously, as everyone's pointing out, it is not going to be 100% accurate. I would be shocked if it's even close to 50% accurate. Break this shit down to its bare butt cheeks real quick. If it's going to be making these guesses off of the content you're watching or your searches, there is so much wiggle room for error. Because let's say you watch an anime, trailer or something. I imagine YouTube would probably put that into a cartoon bin, which would then be
Attack on Titan and the YouTube Kids sphere.
falling under a under 18 bin, which would be a strike against you. What if you misspell something in the searches? What if you accidentally make a typo? Does that make them think that you might be a kid as well? Or what about something like autoplay? Let's say you put on a real adult video. You look at fucking day trading tutorials, but it autoplays to something else, which is making slime or some shit, because YouTube's recommended algorithm is fucking wild.
The slime is crazy.
Easily just be flagged as an under 18 account, and then, well, if you want to keep using your account and have access to all the content and features that you've been used to, gonna need to fork over that ID, or at least show us your face. Give us some of that sweet biometric data currency, please. And I hope you'll say no. That is not something you should ever be comfortable with giving any company.
Imagine if they implement this and everybody just leaves YouTube to go to Kick or Rumble because of it. That would suck so bad, but that would also be an insane power move by the people.
It is a big problem, and there needs to be something done about this. It is truly out of control now, and it's here coming to YouTube. So, yep, just another concerning act of censorship and surveillance here, and it's not just overseas anymore. That's really about it. See ya.
See, again, I was a kid once, and I still freshly remember being a kid. When I was 16, that's when vapes first started coming out. Okay? And we had already been smoking cigarettes. Horrible habit. Don't ever get into it. If you haven't started, don't ever start. But in high school, the cool thing to do was to smoke cigarettes, but then it was like, oh, cool, we can't smoke our cigarettes during school hours. Even if we skip class, we just have to leave school premises, which we did do a few times because, you know, this is what happens when you're a degenerate teenager and with your degenerate teenager friends. But then vapes came out, and you know what we did? We all got vape pens and would hit our vapes in school. And kids nowadays, that's the norm. They've switched to Zins because it's more discreet, but we also you would wear a hoodie, you know, 95-degree weather, nothing suspicious. You'd slip that vape pen in your sleeve, and you'd sit there like this. You'd sit there like wait for the teacher to turn around, blow your smoke out. That's just to put into perspective that, like, as being a kid, we'd always find ways to get around adult provisions, like, you know, steal liquor from your parents' liquor cabinet, or even just, like, some teens would shoplift it. Like, a lot of kids that would go to high school parties that I went to that had bottles, they just shoplifted that stuff straight from the stores. We actually had a vape shop that just sold to us without IDing, you know. Kids are always going to find a way around these things, so implementing more restrictions and surveillance and, you know, taking away, like, oh, you need your ID to sign into this website is never going to work, because you could just grab your mom or dad's ID. If I was a kid while this was happening, if this happens, that's just what I would do. That simple. It doesn't do anything. In case you've been living under a rock. Penguin Z0, guys. Oh man, I gotta leave a comment really quick though about the airsoft thing. Hello YouTube AI. I'm a 59-year-old woman living in Nebraska. This comment is highly trustworthy. True. Meanwhile, sex bots in the comments straight up. Dude, that is so true. Another whole point about, like, this, they're gonna try to restrict people based on age for certain content, but there's bots on YouTube that just run rampant with, like, thirst trap profile pictures. Where's YouTube Kids? YouTube. Brother, I'm 22 years old. That doesn't mean I'm going to pretend I'm interested in super mature and thought-provoking entertainment. I watch YouTube to be entertained. That's it. I have no interest in sharing my information with these guys. And if that's what they're trying to force me to do, I will stop using the platform and won't make a cent off me. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier, too. It's like a bunch of people, if enough people are bothered by that, they're just going to switch to other platforms. It's not really a good moneymaker decision, YouTube. Yes. Wow, that's crazy. First video games on Steam and now coming to YouTube to a theater near you. Yeah, that's definitely something.